What did Utah's freshman congressman think of the president's address? That's the question, and we're going to ask him ourselves. Joining us this morning from Washington is Republican Representative Jason Chaffetz. Good to see you this morning. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Okay, so tell us, what did you think? I mean, it's just sounded like money, money, money last night. I mean, what do you think about this as one who didn't vote for the stimulus bill?
Well, when the president says he wants smaller government, I applaud him. But then I just looked to, a few days ago, we voted on the single largest spending bill in the history of the United States of America. The president said he wants appropriation bills that are free of earmarks. Yet later today, we're going to vote on a bill that is some $400+ billion. It has 9,000 earmarks. So my concern is, while the rhetoric sounds good, the reality of what actually is happening here in Washington, D.C. is going totally the opposite direction.
And that's sort of what we heard Governor Jindal say yesterday with a Republican response, saying that Democrat leaders say their plan will grow the economy. Republicans are saying that it'll grow the government. Sounds like there's a lot of disagreement here, and the reality is you guys, and by you guys I mean Republicans, are outnumbered. So where's the common ground here? Are you guys ever going to come to an agreement, and what would that agreement be?
Well, I think we could come to an agreement if there was actually a debate. Remember, we had the single largest spending bill in the history of the United States. It was $1 trillion. We had that bill for less than 13 hours. It was released at midnight and then voting on about 1 o'clock the next day. It was 1,400 pages. There's not one member of Congress that actually even read that bill, let alone had a chance to digest it and debate it and do all that. That type of dialogue has not been happening here in Washington, D.C. It's not the change that the president assured us of. And the process is not allowing us to have that communication and come up with what is ultimately best for the American people.
President Obama last night kind of outlined what he wants to do to help social programs, but he did not necessarily talk about the spending on this one. And we're reading that Democrat leadership is moving to pass a $410 billion spending bill to help social programs that is not included in the $787 billion. Where do you stand on that?
Well, $1 billion in this town is like a rounding error. The numbers are so astronomical. If you look at the base budget of 2008 versus the one that's going through right now for 2009, it represents more than an 8% increase. You put on top of that all the stimulus, the bailout, the TARPs, all that. We're in a trajectory to spend $5 trillion. I mean, that's just astronomical. It's almost 40% of our gross domestic product. The Republicans' concern, my concern, is that we're not identifying where we're going to cut the size and scope of government. We are growing government. We're not growing jobs. And that's what I came here to fight against, because we just can't be all things to all people. The president said last night that he wanted to cut programs, that he wasn't even going to be able to get everything he wants. And that scares me, because in $5 trillion he doesn't get what he wants. And the second part of that is I can't wait to hear where the president thinks he's actually going to cut things.
Okay, well, here's the deal, though. He's talking about spending all this money. Republicans disagree. You say you're taking your fight to Capitol Hill, but is this a losing battle for you guys? I mean, is the president going to get his way anyway?
Well, Democrats have numbers, and we're going to have to continue to make the case to Utahns and to the American people, to my colleagues, and I think we'll win and have an effect on that dialogue. But, they can roll us if they want to. They have the numbers.
I guess that's the way it goes out there. Hey, Representative Chaffetz, thanks a lot for stopping by for us. We really appreciate your time this morning.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, time right now is 7:21. Fat Tuesday festivities gives way to violence in the Big AZ when someone opens fire on the parade route.